Hello and welcome to ET Edge Insights exclusive interview series. Hunger crisis is one of the major challenges that is confronting the human population. And with the growing climate change, geopolitical dynamics, and ever growing population, there is a dire strait of food in the global scenario. To talk to us about the food crisis and agricultural innovations, today we have with us Mr. Sudhakar Tomar. Sudhakar has been a multiple recipient of India's top 100 business leaders in Gulf by the renowned Forbes magazine. Sudhakar, thank you for taking the time out and speaking to ETH Insights. Let me begin by asking you, hunger crisis, as we know, it's one of the major challenges the world is facing. As a Asian business leader and a person who has been in this food security scenario, what would you say is the current crisis situation, and how is the world coping to tackle this scenario?
Thank you, Tomar, for having me here. One good or bad thing about hunger crisis or the food crisis is that it's a global and it's a secular thing. It needs no caste, creed, country, sometimes even economic situation of a country. So it's a truly global phenomenon. And let me go a little bit back in the history. Because of the industrialization of the rich world at the cost of, say, global south historically, and also increasing population, we have food insecurity or hunger. So much so, right now more than 3.3 billion people do not have or cannot afford a healthy meal, and about 800 million people go to bed hungry every night. So the problem is there. So that's a general problem. And with the recent crisis of geopolitical conflicts, climate change, I call them the problem of three C's: climate change, COVID, and the conflicts. These problems have been intensified. And if you add the amount of food loss, so this is the current situation. Now we have to look at as a global south, because that is the receiving end of this problem. We have to reimagine this situation and find a solution. Fortunately, when we look at our current resources, there is enough potential, enough knowledge is available. It's just a matter of collaborating with all the stakeholders and try to find the practical and workable solution for the global south, or say for Asia and Africa.
Right. Interestingly, you said there are enough resources to tackle this problem. So, if we talk about technology, emerging technologies in the agribusiness or in agriculture, what are some of these emerging technologies you think will help accelerate this process or bring this stability in this hunger crisis?
So, fortunately, there is enough agricultural technologies available which can do three things. It can increase the output of the yield, it can reduce the food loss. That itself is going to give us about 60% of the extra increase in the production. And on top of that, if you take the total global production of food, you divide it by the number of people we have on the planet, 7.2 billion people. Fortunately, there is enough food available. So we have about 3,000 calories per person per day available even now. But food security or hunger is more of a socio-political supply chain problem rather than absolute availability of the. So if we distribute our resources, distribute the food products which we have available in the world, using this technology which I just said, I think we have a solution at our hand.
Right. That's very interesting. You talked about technology, but there is one critical aspect in this entire scenario, which is investments, especially with regards to Asia and Africa, where we've seen, people are facing the brunt of the hunger crisis. So what, according to you, is the investment sphere in this scenario?
So when we look at the investment in agriculture or agri trade in Asia, I see lack of investment in this field for various reasons. But what I feel, any country in Asia which is trying to improve the agriculture situation in the country, the first thing we should start by investing ourselves. I see there is not as much investment in agri culture or agri trade or agri investment within the countries. I think, for example, in India, I think the fund, the VC community, the founders, or anybody who's looking at investment, they should definitely look at agriculture, agri trade, as things which happen before the farming, things which happen during the farming or after the farming, and innovation, marketplace. There are so many technologies available, so many investment language called white spaces available. I think we should seriously look at it, because agriculture is fundamental to India. It's in our DNA, it's in our genes, and we will do much better by investing in our core area, which also employs, by the way, 68 to 70% of the population.
Sudhakar, you have been in this business for over 20 years. You've been fighting for the cause of the global population with regards to a hunger crisis and food production and food security. So, as in your capacity as an Asian business leader, what advice would you give to the other Asian business leaders who want to invest in the agricultural sector?
Of course, come and talk to us. But jokes aside, I feel the time has come that investment community, trade, researchers, marketers, farmers, government, regulatory bodies, media, we have existed in silos. Now the time has come that we should talk to each other more often, collaborate, cooperate, and work in a co-investment model between all the countries, between all the financing institutions, between all the investors. Seriously look at all these white spaces which are available in agriculture and food, and the sheer size is running into billions of people in our area of sphere. So I think we should do more collaboration and talk to each other more often.
Right, right. One last question, Sudhakar. Tell us something about India Middle East Agri Alliance.
So India Middle East Agri Alliance was envisioned after Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji came to Middle East the first time. An initiative was launched which to promote bilateral trade and investment in agri trade and agriculture, with the dual objective of securing regional food supply and also increasing farmers' income. So our mandate is that we are there to support, mentor, find money for those investments who have a food security angle to it, promote regional food and nutrition security, and at the same time it should increase meaningfully, it should increase farmers' income. And lately we have also made another mandate for ourselves that whatever technologies or business propositions we support should also be replicable in Global South, in Asia, in Africa, to have a long-lasting and meaningful impact.
Right. On that note, Sudhakar, thank you very much for your valuable time. I wish you all the best for your noble cause, and thank you very much.
Glad to be.
Thank
you
you
so much.